So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to bring you 10 things we all want to see in the next career mode. FIFA 20, it seems a long way away. Niran, we've only just got into 2019. Honestly, boys and girls, I hear that. However, if we're going to get anything changed in FIFA career mode, we've got to really talk about these sort of things early. EA are already going to be well down the line when it comes to the development of the next game, and when it comes to career mode changes, we need to get our ideas out there as early as possible. So I'm bringing you 10 things that I want to see, and I'm pretty sure we all want to see in FIFA 20's career mode. Drop down in the comment section any that I miss. I'll be sure to make a couple more of these. And if you go on to enjoy the video, slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel. But without any further ado, let's get into proceedings. First of all though, and this is one of the most important ones to me, the youth system needs a complete and utter revamp from top to bottom on FIFA 20. Every single element of that needs a revamp. Everything, right? So first of all, you need to be able to scout from every country that is licensed on the game, or just every country generally speaking. Why can you get regens from flipping Guinea-Bissau, but I can't get a youth academy player from there? I want to be able to have the freedom to scout anywhere. That's the first thing. Secondly, the scouting system doesn't actually make any sense. How can my youth scouts come back and say, yeah, this guy's going to be top quality, we've nailed his potential to being either somewhere between like 75 and 94, but he could be either a right back, a central defensive mid, or maybe even a striker. It doesn't make sense. You know the position first before you know anything else. On top of that, the youth system doesn't really make any sense. Like, you don't have a situation in real life where as soon as a player becomes 16, they're given a professional contract and then they're just training with the first team players. They'd have a reserve team, an under 21 team to go through first, and I reckon they should have under 21 teams on FIFA. They're even part of the Checker Trade Trophy now in England, so surely, just by having that trophy in the game, you need to have the under 21 teams, otherwise half the competition makes no sense in the first place. You should get players straight from the youth academy, and then instead of promoting them straight to your first team, they should go through an under 21 phase, get some game time, get the experience, and be able to grow faster by playing actual games rather than just festering away in the reserve section. Number 2, another huge one, stadium upgrades. Even if you just can't build a whole new stadium, the ability to actually build upon the one you already have. Maybe not with licensed ones, okay? I understand that with certain stadiums that are licensed on the game, maybe capacity has to stay the same. You can't start adding extra bits and bobs to it. But there's plenty of default ones on the game, and this is what I mean most, really. The actual stadiums they've got on the game are absolutely fine. It's the default ones that you need to be able to build upon during the course of a career mode save. If I'm doing a road to glory, and I start off with a stadium with a max capacity of 3,000 or 5,000 or whatever, and then reach the Champions League semi-finals, I've got Real Madrid come into my stadium and it's 3,000 capacity. It makes absolutely no sense at all. You should be able to upgrade it. You could do it on old FIFA games, so why can't you do it now? Number 3, if there's anything that the cheat engine on PC has taught me, it's that the actual console version of FIFA needs an in-game editor. So desperately. The whole situation with youth academy players being the wrong ethnicity, which is something I didn't even mention before, the ability to change people's potentials, especially when you created players have to have 99 potential. You can't change them. Why should I have a made-up player and he has to have 99 potential? What if I don't want him to be the best he can possibly be? What if I only want to cap him at 90? There should be an in-game editor where you can actually edit the stats of players, not just their boots, right? I don't care about their boots, alright, or whether their shirts are tucked in, so even so that you can change the potentials of players based on whether they're doing well or not. I don't think there should be fixed potentials at all, and we'll get onto that in a minute, but if there are still going to be fixed potentials, you should at least have the power to be able to change them to whatever you want them to be. Number 4, position training. This one isn't even difficult, okay? If there's limited resources going into this next career mode, right, then this one is actually doable, because it's not difficult. All it is being able to change a player's position, alright? If I've got a striker who has absolutely woeful finishing and attack position, which often happens, to be fair, with regens and youth academy players, and I think he's better out on the wing, I should be able to train that player to become a winger. In the same way you can train attributes and stats on the game already. It maybe takes a fixed period of time. The younger the player, the quicker they can become that new position. So say if I want to change my striker to a winger at age 16, it might only take 3 months of training. Or maybe I want to change a 24-year-old striker to a winger, it might take more like 7 or 8 months because they're more used to being a striker, they're less raw. Regardless, that then should have an influence on how they actually play. I've maintained for ages that players should play worse if they're playing out of position. Number 5, communication with players is one that I've harped on about for absolutely ages, but I do think it's vital. There's so many times where someone will come to me in the email section or the player conversation section and say, boss, I want to start more games. Okay, now what? What can I do? Okay, I can play him more, for sure. Brilliant. What if there's a 63 rated Youth Academy player? I'm not going to play him more, am I? There should be the option to reply to someone and say, look, either, you know, you should have expected this when you signed the contract. You're a sporadic first team player. Why are you complaining to me? Or give them reassurance that in 6 months, a season, they'll be a first team starter. Or say, like it or lump it, you can be sold if you want to. You should just be able to respond. It's not how it works in real life. A player doesn't just come up to their manager and say, I'm homesick, boss, and the boss is just like, alright, sick, out you go. That's not how it works. You should be able to have a two-way conversation. It's like 2019 now. Number 6, again, every single year I have to whip this one out, but press conferences, they were in the journey in FIFA 17. They should be in career mode by now, okay? All it is, post-match conference, maybe 3 questions that determine fan confidence, board confidence, and player morale. You've got to juggle those things. An example for anyone who's interested in motorsport, this was actually implemented into F1 2018 this year. You had 10 seconds to choose between 4 questions, and it determined your relationships with your own team, with your development department, and with other teams and drivers as well. That is what should be taken and put into career mode, because the current press conference is, actually no. No. I actually even refuse to accept that's a feature. The current press conference situation is the laziest thing I've ever seen in my life, so I'm not even going to regard that as a feature. Number 7, more detailed simulation stats. When I sim a game, I don't want to just see the scoreline, who got a yellow card, who got subbed, who scored. I want to see like actual match ratings. I want to know who played well in that game. That's it. Even if it's just nothing else, I don't need to know the pass accuracy necessarily of every single player, but maybe the possession that each team had, the danger areas, and then also the match ratings for each of the individual players. I can obviously guess that a player who scored a hat-trick, got a good match rating, but for the players that didn't score, or whatever, I'd like to know. Also, who got the assists for each goal. It's just stuff like that. I don't want to just see the scoreline. It's very two-dimensional. Number 8 carries on along the same theme, really, and it's to do with stats. Really, goals and assists and stuff should carry over into the next season. Every single season is just a clean slate, and it's so boring. I want to have actual lifetime stats of my team. I want to be able to go and buy a player and see what his history is. Flipping, I'm 10 seasons in, and back in 2021, he scored 25 goals across the season. I want to know that information. I don't want to just get a face value overall, and then this is just a player. I want to know some history about the guy, like on Football Manager. AI managers retiring / getting sacked. This is a very simple and quick one, but why am it was obviously not the case anymore, but Arsene Wenger, on FIFA 18, Arsene Wenger was still Arsenal manager in 2032. Fam, DT and Troops would be ripping their own hair out. Claude doesn't even have any hair, but he'd still be growing it and ripping it out if Arsene Wenger would have still been Arsenal manager. There needs to be some variation. Managers should actually have attributes like players do in terms of age, even if they're just really basic ones, like age and history and all that jazz. Once a manager becomes like flipping 94, they should probably retire at that point. And finally, I touched upon it earlier, but the removal of fixed potentials is probably the most vital thing going forward into FIFA 20 career mode. If there's anyone from the EA development team watching this video, I beg, if you do one thing on one thing only, which is not acceptable, but still, if there's one thing you should prioritize, it's the removal of fixed potentials. I am so fed up of having the same career mode over and over again, and seeing someone else's career mode exactly the same. For sure, scripted transfers have been limited a lot more recently, and that's great. Players are at different clubs. But whatever career mode you do, every player will be the same overall at their peak, and that is so boring and bland. That needs to be removed. Base it on form. Base it on how many goals a player scores if they're a striker. base it on how many assists and what their pass accuracy is if they're a central midfielder. It should be based on form. FIFA 10 smashed it with that, where overalls were based on the form of the player. That needs to return. That is one of the greatest features in old school career mode games that isn't in career mode now. For the love of God, bring it back. And on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video on 10 things I want to see, and we all want to see really, in FIFA 20 career mode. Drop any more down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to do more of these in the very near future, to be honest with you. And again, I'll try and pass this feedback on to EA. If you enjoyed the video, slap a like on it, subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it massively helps me out. You can also follow me on social media these days too, my Twitter and Insta at @theofficialfng, and links are down below. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.